Hello. Would you want a real shinobi or samurai build in Elden Rings? You can. Lore accurate and everything. This is my shinobi build. It's designed after the whole way shinobi have been stealth. You stealth to fight it. You fight in stealth, and you use abilities accordingly to like what shinobi would have. You can use you can use faith or magic depending on how you want to look at it. But I went with faith for this my shinobi build. And you have O Flame. You have this, the Beast Slash. Then you have this for like kunais that you can just throw. Then you can just throw a big rock if you want to. Then you got Black Flame Protect Me for defense purposes. You got a way to heal. You got a way to cleanse yourself. You got a way to smoke bomb so you can't be seen. And Poison Cloud to try to trick people into it. My build is quite simple, and if you notice, I'm wearing a what looks like a shinobi hood, right? And you're probably wondering, how do you get this hood? It's Nox Monk's hood altered. It is a shinobi's mask. I have Black Knife armor on, Lord of Reed's gauntlets, and Lord of Reed's greaves. The two samurai parts to go with the two non-samurai's parts, but this is your shinobi hood. This is the body armor. You can switch this out for the bandit armor or the patches armor, but this one I like the best because the visible hood will go over the top of the shinobi mask, so the hood's up on this setup. It is nice and I like it. This build is nice. It does great. The stats are 60, 30, 48, but as I level up, you want 50 in your endurance, so you can be light load. I have 40 strength, 20 dex, 20 intelligence, 40 faith, and 20 arcane. Just best to have 20 down the board for both builds. I'm almost level 200, so this is the stats you get with it. The thing about this build is you need Black Flame or you're going to take a lot of damage. This is a very light build. And you have your katana and your what's the name of it? Wakizashi. The Wakizashi is your left-handed weapon. It allows you to parry. And you can do this, and you can one-hand it, and then sheath, and do this. So you still have that. Or you can go in this nice little combination that only could be occurred with if you have the Wakashibi with it. So it's a good shinobi class based off the actual lore of shinobi. The armor looks good. It's navy blue because real ninjas wear blue. And the talismans I have equipped is Dagger Talisman for obvious reasons, for critical hits. Old Lord's Talisman, so when you use your spells, like let's say Smokescreen, it stays up twice as long, and so does the Poison Mist. Longer than it normally would, because Old Lord's Talisman makes it last longer. Then I have Cypress Vial and Concealing Veil, so I do not show up if I crouch. I can use my Smokescreen crouch. It will unlock me from my opponent. Can no longer target me. I kid you not. It untargets me. and I've checked this out. When I crouch after doing that, they can no longer target me with that with targeting in the game because the veil, and this will make it where you don't make no noise when you run around. You have your healing and whatnot vials. I would recommend the Beastman Talisman for this build instead of the Gravelstone Seal I have, because I'm just using that because I'm powering it up. And then, as quick as this build is, if you just wanted to do this, you can just switch over to one of these two helmets, Lord Reed's helmet, or the Okina mask, either one, and you could easily switch right into a samurai build. And if you decide to go for the samurai build, I recommend you using the black bow as your thing, because you will not be using any spells with this build. And then you can switch between having your dagger or your bow for a true samurai build. You have your archery, which the samurais were well known for on horseback. And then you have your katana that you could sheath and strike when needed. Or you switch them, then parry, and to defend your, and then you can go to town on them. This way you have a little bit of everything, and you can also block and parry and do the whole counter thing from here. This is my samurai half of my build, and the samurai half of my build, since you don't use any magic or anything like that that you know supposed to be mystical about, you can switch out the Lord's Talisman for Alexander's talisman, and then you could switch it out for these two dagger talismans. And you're wondering why those, because believe it or not, you will break people's stance with this build a lot. Just doing this can easily break a person's poise because it does like 100 poise damage. So if they block you while you do this, they are going to get knocked down, and then you can just critical strike them. Or if you parry them, and then you could just go for it. And this build is pretty powerful. If you don't want to use the dagger talisman, I would recommend that you switch over to, let's say, a different talisman that you may have liked much better, like finger crest, because you can use you can last longer, or you can increase your bull goat's talisman, which increases your poise to only 45. The poise is very low on this for some reason. There's another samurai set you can use too, just not only just this one. This samurai set does 514 attack power with its katana, and 292 with its wakashi. And you can't use any of those spells because you're not in your shinobi form. That's right, you could just switch so quick in between these two, from these two forms, just by going like in here, then just switching out quickly to instantly become a shinobi. And it goes that fast. Some people could probably switch a lot faster between the two forms. Which is really great, because this is a shinobi and samurai build. Since they require the stats from each other, you can take your strength stats and put them in dexterity, or you could take your faith stats and dump them into your intelligence. As long as you have 20 down the board minimum, you'll be able to wield any of the stuff that you need to wield, no matter what. Oh, he died. But this build, as you see, the hood, it goes on top of it, and it's got this nice shinobi mask to go with it. And most people will be like, why don't you use the black knives greaves for the feet? Well, shinobi used samurai leggings and samurai gauntlets on top of it. The thing that they changed was their hood and their body armor was different from the samurai. The rest of the stuff is pretty simply close to similar. So you can switch back and forth as needed, depending on how you want to play. You could even use the bow in your shinobi build if you wanted to. But it's a quick, simple change out. Presto changeo, you're now samurai. Easy back and forth. Even the talismans you can change out as you need. Making this an interesting little quick build. Just if you can just change it fast enough is all. I went with my weapons. Ashes of War are not that different. Ashes of War for my dagger is parry with occult, so I can get the defense buff from it, because occult gives you defense, but it scales off arcane. Then I have unsheath as this one, and I used fire, just basic fire, not the faith one, just fire straight up to give it a good strength build. I believe this is when it's done, it's a B in strength or something like that. I'm using the Uchigata katana, which is probably one of the good ones that we could use. There's probably different katana. I believe there's different katanas you can use as you see fit. The Nagakiba, many people I see will be using that. But all these are pretty good, all the katanas. But if you want to have more control, I recommend the Nagi and the Uchigata. I recommend these two so you can alter it as you see fit. Beast, Cleric Mark Seal. Claw Mark Seal is what you want for your shinobi. You want the black bow for your samurai. You can use the great bow too if you want, but it takes so long to notch an arrow. There's also Raptor's black feathers you can use as your shinobi armor. Yeah, you got a lot of options to work with, and mostly any talisman you can use to build on this. And it's fast, light, and quick. I'm just gonna take it into a fight real quick as a samurai samurai class. And yes, I have tested it. The lock-on doesn't work on my shinobi one if I decide to use the black mist thing and then crouch. It will take your targeting off of me until you get close enough to target me again, but by then I'm probably long gone and moved out of the way. I've actually confused a few players fighting them where I literally used the black mist, crouched, walked off, and they literally were looking around like, where'd he go? Not even joking, that actually happened. I was laughing my ass off because he really did not know where I went. He was like, where did he fucking go? And it's like, had his shield up and everything, looking around, and I got him from behind. You could tear out a grand total of 1,500 damage if you do a critical hit. This build is great. It looks nice and it's more accurate. There's plenty of options to choose from for your samurai side and plenty to choose from your shinobi side. You have plenty of spells to work with for your shinobi, so it looks like you're using magic and special stuff. You can use catch fire if you don't want to use the bigger, more powerful old flame. There's plenty to do. You have plenty. It does bleed damage, and if you want, you can put poison on your wakashi, on your wakashi. See, it's fire on my... I'm out of stamina. This is a very dominant for stamina build. No, it's a draw. Oh wait, I won. See, samurai build. Though that's a legitimate samurai build. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you want to try out the shinobi side too. That one takes a little more finessing and finagling because you cannot take a hit. You're very weak to a lot of physical damage, but elemental, you're resistant as hell. The samurai's the opposite. Highly resistant to physical, but elemental will do you a lot of damage. But yeah, that's my samurai shinobi build. And it's actually more accurate. Eat your heart out, Ubisoft. I hope you enjoy and build one yourself.